and welcome to part 2 of our nautical theme for this week. So during part 2 we're going to be continuing with our words that all relate to nautical themes. So if you haven't watched part 1, make sure you pop back to Monday's video, have a watch of that, and then come dive in with what we're doing today. So we're going to go through 5 more words with you. You know the drill by now. Make sure that you're practicing these words, writing them down, putting them in the comments and sentences, and every week, so this Friday, we're going to read your comments and pick a winner and send you a prize for all of your hard work and effort. So let's dive into the words that we're going to be looking at today. So word number 1. Now this, like so many words, can be used maybe as a verb or as a noun, but today we're going to be talking about it as a verb. So the word is more. Now this is also a homophone as well, of course, for the word M-O-R-E, more. So this is a great example for learning for spellings, but also for vocabulary as well. So the verb to moor, essentially, in like a nautical term, means like to secure or tie up the boat. So if you were going to be using it in a sentence, you would say something like, the sailors decided to moor their vessel in the calm harbour. So essentially, again, like I say, it's this idea of like the boats being secured and tied up in the harbour area. Okay, so word number 2 is the noun sextant. So this is something that we don't really see very often now in modern day texts because it's an old instrument that sailors would have used, but it is something that comes up quite a bit in the classic texts, which is why we're talking about it today in this video. So a sextant was an object, or basically like a small device which has like an arc in it, and sailors used it to measure the distance between sort of objects. Now, quite commonly it was used for helping like with stars and things like that. So in the first video, we talked about how they were like navigating using the stars. So this is a little instrument that they used to help them do that. So if we were going to use it in a sentence, we would say something like, the captain used a sextant to determine the ship's position. So he's using this device to basically work out maybe where they were in the world or in the middle of the ocean. The next word, number 3, is an adverb. And this word is adroitly. So this is all about doing something like masterfully or skillfully. So it's a really great way to describe how someone does something. Now, again, we've included this word because, like we're talking about, in the sort of classic text, they're using all of these like devices and what would have been like sort of maybe new technology for the time, helping them to navigate around the word. So describing like how they did that would be really great in our vocabulary. So for example, if we were going to use the word adroitly in a sentence, we would say something like, the experienced sailor adroitly maneuvered the ship through the narrow passage. This idea that he's like moving it really like carefully and skillfully through this particular area, like sort of maybe narrow gap between 2 rocks in the sea or the ocean. Okay, so word number 4 is an adjective, and this word is maritime. So it's very similar in meaning really to the word nautical. It's a bit of a synonym really. And essentially maritime refers to anything that's to do with like the sea. And it's often used in like a sort of military context as well, or anything that's commercial. So to do with like, you know, shipping and selling and like trading goods and things like that. So if you were going to use it in a sentence, you would say something like, the country has a rich maritime history due to its extensive coastline and naval traditions. So this idea, again, so we're using it as an adjective there to describe like the history. So it essentially means, and like Britain, the UK, this would apply to us. You know, we have a huge coastline. So much of our history is steeped in travel and everything to do with the coast and our navy. So that would be a good example of how you could use it. And the last word, number 5, is a verb, to capsize. So to capsize essentially means like to flip over. So if a boat capsizes where it should be standing up, it flips and turns down on itself. So if we were going to use this in a sentence, we would say something like, the strong waves caused the small boat to capsize. So what that means, you imagine there's a boat sort of floating on the water and a big waves come along and washed it and flipped it over. So well done. We have now this week covered 10 new words all relating to our nautical theme. Now don't forget, if you want to practice this even more, we've got quizzes, we've got synonyms practice for you, we've got sentence practice, loads of different ways for you to practice this vocabulary. Plus, this week, we decided inside the 11 Plus English Club that we were going to upload a little bonus session about this as well. Because like we say, a lot of this vocabulary appears so much in classic texts, like contextually, it's really important for that time. So we've uploaded some extra special lessons just to help you learn more about, for example, parts of a ship, where these words are found in classic novels, how to recognise them, and even more ways to practice using them in your vocabulary. So if you want to come join us and you want to learn more about it, don't forget to sign up to the 11 Plus English Club. All the links and details are below in the video description, and you use the code YouTube11, and that's going to get you half price on your first month with us. We look forward to seeing you inside the club. Take care. Bye-bye.